the term ad nauseum, and it means a discussion that has continued to the point of nausea. Nausea? It indicates that the topic has been discussed extensively and those involved have grown sick of it. And I've said many times on this vlog that I have discussed something ad nauseum, and I have found that it is so hard for me to not just repeat myself all the time, even when it comes to creative endeavors. It is so difficult to write a song that is unique. Every time I start writing, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something new and unique, something I haven't done before. And just every time, my brain's like, oh, I like the way this sounds. And I'm like, yes, yeah, it does sound really good. But it also sounds like everything else I've ever written. I do know that my music has gradually gotten better, at least. So that is marching in the right direction. But the reason I looked up ad nauseum though, is not because I keep writing the same music over and over. It's because I keep talking about the fact that I write the same music over and over again. They're like, just shut up. Just shut up. It's like, I really don't think there's anything to be done. I'm not just gonna magically suddenly be able to write entirely original music that I've never written before overnight. I have a desire within me to slowly push the music towards new directions. And as long as that desire's there and I chip away at it, there's nothing else really to be done or said about it. Any type of change or progress is slow, and the only way you get there is just by consistently going at it. There will be times where you'll be really frustrated like I am today, but that is the nature of existence. So we deal with it and we press on. I would say that whatever I've accomplished in life, I owe to two things. The first thing is, I know what I like and I really like it. So when there's something I like doing, I really hone in on it. The second thing is, I have an almost pathological need to get things done. When I have a project that I'm working on, it will get finished. Because if it doesn't get finished, I will go crazy. When things take too long to get finished, I start to go crazy. And I'm telling you this, it's that 80% of any type of creative work is finishing it. The other 20% is just, I don't know, that's up in the air, who knows. But that 80%, if you can just finish it, and finish a lot, just get better and better, or at least less and less crappy. Even when I was in school, when I had homework due or projects due or anything like that, it would just always be at the forefront of my mind. I couldn't push it back and ignore it. I was not somebody who liked school. I didn't have a bad time, but I certainly didn't have a great time. Just somewhere in the middle, some good days, some bad, entirely forgettable. I'll never forget this. When I first went to high school, they had this big introduction in the auditorium with all the parents and the students for freshmen. And one of the people said, these will be the best 4 years of your life. And my mom at the time was like, I don't think that's true. And after living high school, if those were the best 4 years of my life, that's a problem. I'm sure there are people who had a great 4 years in high school and regard it as some of the best times of their life. Not me. My life has gotten way better since school. But my point is that even for something I didn't want to do, I could not get it out of my mind that I need to finish it. And that pathology of just needing to finish things has served me quite well. But you can't take that into every aspect of your life, because there will always be things that need to be done, and some of them you just have to put on the back burner and be like, I don't have the bandwidth to deal with that right now. That's something that I have to work on. Anyway. And I am done talking about how hard it is to sound unique and how hard it is to do something different. There's nothing left to be said about it, except for one more thing. Haruki Murakami, considered one of the greatest Japanese novelists ever, every single one of his books is exactly the same. And they're great. They're fantastic. Make the things that is your unique voice. Done talking about it. Ad nauseum. Everybody go throw up now. Okay, time for me to go do some technology help. A TV has been mounted on the wall upside down because that was the only way they could get it to fit. So my task is to go into the service menu and see if I can find some way to flip the display. I know it's possible on some TVs. I just don't know about this one specifically, so we are going to find out. Oh, it's hot in here. What is the temperature? 51? It is like 100 in this car. Okay, looks like you can't flip the TV, but as a bonus, I get to steal some of the pizza from this meeting they're about to have. Have some pepperoni. Oh, a sausage, slice of sausage? Come on, man. And then one more. Let's get one more. Oh, yeah. Yes. Pear or orange? We'll go with the orange today. The only thing I don't like about oranges is having to peel them. And I don't like cutting oranges. It's not the same. I want each individual slice to be a self-contained unit. That's not gonna be juicing all over me. So the other day, my friend saw how I was talking about how into old stuff I was lately. So she gave me her old iPod Touch, iPhone 4 with a broken back glass, and iPod Video 5th generation 30 gigabytes. I don't have too much use for either of these, but I found out that you can easily repair these back glasses, so I'm gonna do that for her. Make it all spiffy, put a new battery in it. I doubt she'd ever use it, but the iPod Video, on the other hand, I am very interested in. Put a new front glass on that, put a new back case on it, new battery, put an SD card in there. Ooh! That'll be so much fun. Anyway, the first step is to plug everything in and to see if they even have any charge or if they still work. Luckily, I have just the cable. In the meantime, I have a new piece of gear to test out, the DJI RS3 Mini. I have the RS3. It is fantastic. It has been excellent, but it weighs too much and is giving me tendonitis. We've used it for 3 or 4 episodes now, and after every trip, the tendon right here gets so sore. And I think it's because like I'm doing the trigger action with stuff, and this thing weighs almost 4 pounds. The original gimbal was the Moza Aircross. It weighs 2 pounds, 9.6 ounces. The RS3 weighs 3 pounds, 6.3 ounces. That is almost a pound heavier. The RS3 Mini is 2 pounds, 2 ounces. So lighter than our original drone. Now, in what has become a theme of this vlog, everything is a trade-off. The original gimbal that we used was small and lightweight, but this part did not lock. So when you were walking around with it, you just had to kind of hold all the pieces together. It was not a great experience. The RS3 came out, and not only do all of these pieces lock together, but they do it automatically. Typically what we've done is I just hit the sleep button and it just locks it into place vertically like this. You can just grab it right here. Quite easy, no fuss. And then when you actually want to turn it all the way off, it'll do this full lockdown. Look at that, that is just, what amazing. However, it's a pound heavier, and I was like, can I get over the fact that it's a pound heavier? The answer is yes and no, because I've managed just fine, but it is hurting my hand. So the RS3 Mini, look how small and compact this thing is. Now the good news is that it locks into place like this, which will make carrying it easier. The bad news is it doesn't have the built-in motors to lock them, so you have to actually do each one manually on your own. So it flops around, you go in, hit each lock. Which is better? A pound heavier, being able to automatically lock, or a pound lighter, much smaller, but you have to manually lock each one? I think that having to manually lock each one will not be that big of a deal. It will be much nicer to have a lighter, more compact setup. There's also a zoom dial right here, which I think is where a lot of my tendonitis is coming from. The Mini has the same functions where I can zoom in and out with the lens and recenter with this button. But because the whole rig is so much lighter, I'm hoping it'll be less damaging to my tendons. Now, one great thing that I didn't even have to think about is that the stabilization on this being great is a given. You can totally take that for granted. I think you could probably take that for granted for pretty much any gimbal that's out right now. Already though, this feels so much better. Oh, it's so much lighter. When you're carrying a 30-pound backpack and you're hiking many miles, having to lift up 5 pounds constantly, oh man, it's very tiring. Okay, well it looks like the battery on this thing is so dead that it won't even turn on. This one, same deal. I could probably leave it plugged in for a couple of hours and it would eventually turn on. But instead, we will just go ahead and get another battery, get a back plate, and replace it. Not that you could actually still use it because it's so old. God, it would be so slow. It would at least, it would work. Okay, that will do it for today's vlog. I will report back on which of these ultimately is going to work better, although just look how big this is. It's a beast. But thank you for watching. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Any type of